our crappie? I think we did. Sure enough, we did. We got it back. Well, I don't know if it's the same one, but we got 8 crappie. Hey, we caught them at like 4 different spots today. That's pretty fun. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I had a few hours free up. We got no kids sports tonight, miraculously. My fine lady gave me her blessing and nod of the head to go do a little fishing. So you got to get it while the getting's good, and the crappie fishing's still real good. So see if we can bring home a stringer of crappie. Thanks for coming along. Please remember to like and subscribe and share and love and hug and all that good stuff. Okay, this has been my go-to setup, my double jig. Got the NIKKO Caddisfly down there on a trout magnet head. Up here I got a mule jig head with a little NIKKO waxworm. There's a little, that's a crappie. Yep. Oh, no way. I've got 2 crappie. I got a double header. I've never double headed on crappie before. Okay, this is why I use, you see that? There's the 2 jig setup for you. I think that bottom one's a keeper. How's that for a good beginning, huh? You like that? I like that real good. Wow. Wow, what a great start. Doubling up right away. You know, this setup, this is like a 6.5 foot, oh, I got it at a trade show. It's like a Bass Pro Shop medium light action crappie rod. And I've got 4-pound line on it. Fish, feels like a good one too. It's a good fish. It's a really good fish. Oh man, this is a slab. Oh, this is a slab of a crappie. Oh man, just fighting like a big wet rag. Wow. I think this is my new biggest crappie out of here. Oh wow. That's a big crappie. It's probably 14 inches. Okay, I was off by a little. 13 inches. That's nothing to sneeze at. Wow. Telling you what, those NIKKO Caddisflies, I have just been crushing them this year on that little body, on a trout magnet head. There's a fish. Might be a keeper, maybe not. Boy, they're just not. They're definitely biting and playing sluggish today. Hey, he bit it on that little top guy. And not quite a keeper, unfortunately. Grow another couple inches for us, would you? Another little guy. I want to double up again. This time on the bottom lure. They're just not even fighting. They might be feeling sluggish with this low pressure. I mean, that's hardly any fight at all. Looks like that one's full of eggs. Little black crappie. Beautiful fish. Look at those big eyes. Probably had 150 or so fish on this exact lure right here. They just can't get enough of it. It's getting them in trouble. There's a fish. Another tiny fish. At least this one's fighting. It's nice when they fight. Might be a gill. Yeah, see? A gill at least gives you a fight. And that little bluegill fought better than that last crappie did. Something was swimming with it there. Sure enough was. Starting to sound like an American here. The Canadian American transplant that I am. And sure enough was. It says crappie number 7 or something like that. A little white crappie. I've cleaned my share of 8-inch crappie, I'll tell you that much. Difference between cleaning an 8-inch versus a 9 or a 10 is like night and day. Oh, look at that guy, swam right up out of the... That's a borderline. For me, that's a borderline. Not quite what we're looking for though. That one did swim up from the shallow water and grabbed it while I was pulling it in. Like, there's a fish. We might have found us a good crappie. I think we did. So you never know, they might be stacked up in this bay. Might be a keeper, is it? Oh, not quite a keeper. It's another fat one. That one's full of eggs. Yeah, just a little money. It's fat. Ooh, that one looks like it's just getting ready to burst some eggs out. See that? Go lay your eggs. Oh, that gill picked it up off the bottom. Boy, that's a bright one. That's a beautiful gill. Look how pretty that fish is. Great looking fish. Slow reel. As soon as I stopped it, there it was. Boy, this lake's full of little fish, huh? I just have to play a numbers game. Hope that 1 out of every 10 or something is a keeper. Hey, this is a company called Wack'em and Stack'em jigs. They're out of northern Indiana. A guy named Angelo and his wife runs it. I bought a bunch of their stuff at a Indiana trade show this year. Here it is. I got a loop knot on braided line. I wish I had a leader, but this line sinks really slow. The nice thing is I'll be able to detect bites watching the line. Little gill, I think. Yeah, the way it's fighting, it's got to be a gill. Fighting like a champ. Oh, they swim fast. You know what? That's a big gill. That one's coming home. That one's worth my time. Yep. That's a keeper. Look at that big swollen forehead on that one. Wow, that crappie was in really shallow water. Really shallow water. Boy, that's a pretty black. A little bit. Big gill. Oh yeah. That's a chunk of a gill. I'm gonna let that one go though. Oh, that's thick though. £2-pound line, tiny bobber. 80th ounce heads, purple body on the one, little white body on the other. Oh, I guess I do have a fish. See, I think we're just gonna catch lots of little... Oh, that is a crappie. Huh, I thought that was a gill. I think we're gonna catch lots of little fish on this setup. Wow, well, he's pretty. Look at that tiny little 1/80th ounce. That's a chow bell from that Wack'em Stack'em. And then down here I got the mule. Both are 1/80th ounce. Oh, that's a better. Boy, he swam right out of the weeds in the shallow water. Oh, not quite what we're looking for. Well, all these blacks they're sure tuxedoed up, aren't they? Oh, you know what? I doubled up again. I doubled up again. What in the friggin' world? Look at that. Bluegill on top, crappie on bottom. What's not to like about that, eh? That's crazy. I gotta grab a picture of that. I hope you'll understand. That's really cool. Even if we don't bring home a big number on our stringer, this has been quite the outing. He grabbed it on the mule. I'll tell you what, they're hitting like a foot below the bobber. If only we could luck into a big one. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. As my brother-in-laws like to say. Doubling up twice in one day, that's really cool. You gotta admit that's really cool. What have we here? I think we finally got a keeper. Yep, we finally got another keeper here. It's gonna be pushing that 9-inch range. I did have one on. What are we at, like 20, 25 crappie? Probably. I think we've landed 25, close to. Gills pop it like that. Little poppers. I mean, I just can't believe how durable that little caddisfly is. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. Is that a thicker one? Oh, that's so borderline. It's a thicker fish. Not quite. Oh, he choked it deep. You know what? We're gonna have to keep it. That fish is hooked really deep. Hey, here's a little trick. If you ever have a fish that's hooked real deep, take a stick, put it in its mouth, spin it, and out comes the lure. Every time. My buddy's grandma showed it to him, and he showed it to me. Okay, spot number 2. There's a culvert right around the corner from me, or kind of a drainage. I was gonna stand on it, but I'd rather just cast to it so I don't spook stuff. There's a fish. There's a fish. What is it? Little bass, I think. Oh no. Sure enough, so we got crappie here too. And you know what? Same thing. They're close, or they're shallow. Now this one's a little upgrade from what we were getting into at the last pond. Let's see what we got here. Let's check out our inches, shall we? This one is, oh, it's just a hair over 8. Gonna let it go. Getting followed by all sorts of fish. Boy. Nope. Almost. Be a little, yep. I think we got a keeper finally. Sure we do. There we go. Well, why haven't we been fishing here the whole time? That's a good crappie. That's a dandy. For here, that's a really good black crappie. They're just not fighting very good today. They're just not really, you know, crushing it. That guy thumped it real good. He gave it a thunkaroo. Oh, no wonder it's a yellow bass. That's what they do. They fight good. They fight real good. I wouldn't mind getting into one twice this size though. See, that's a nice thing too about that double jig. You can catch them at different levels. If they don't like the one color, that's fine. Just go ahead and hit the other color then. Just do your thing. Barely took it under. That's how they do it. He barely sucked that thing in. Decent white crappie. Not a monster, but probably 8.5. Maybe I shouldn't have called last cast, but I did. Oh, not quite. Okay, we're gonna go down to our honey hole and hope that they're there. Look at that big dead turtle. That's a big soft shell. Too bad. Oh, it stinks. Okay, down we go to the land of milk and honey. Start with casting just in case it's easy pickings. Try to pick up any aggressive fish that might be hanging about. Like that one. Oh yeah. I like, oh, there's a big bass following him. You see that big bass following that crappie? You see that big bass following that crappie? Start out with a jig. You'll get your aggressive fish out of the way first. That's a good one. Real shallow. Nice. For here, that's a nice eater-sized black crappie. That one's coming home. Pick the low-hanging fruit first, you know. As Granddaddy always said. He never did say that. I'm sure someone's grandpa said that. This has become my favorite crappie setup for sure. Here we go. Back to the little fish. Boy, they're loving that caddisfly. Caddis? I'm not sure how you say it. Nice fish. Oh yeah. Nicer fish for sure. Keeper. We got us a keeper. A keeper white crappie. You betcha. You better believe it. You better believe it if you want to receive it. There's one. There's one going, coming home. Oh, another little yellow bass. Oh, he got himself all flopped around. Jeez. Settle, bud. These will really poke you with that fin if you're not careful. That's awesome. That father and son are just having a good time there. Look at that bass right there. Good spawning area. Ooh, what's that? Some big carp down here. Ooh, big carp and a big bass. Oh, that's a big carp, eh? My line's gonna go right over him here in a second. Nope, he didn't want anything to do with that. There, did we get our crappie? I think we did. Sure enough, we did. We got it back. Well, I don't know if we got the same one, but we got a crappie. Hey, we've caught them at like 4 different spots today. That's pretty fun. Man, a turtle ate my biggest bluegill on my stringer. I just got back and half of them's gone. You guys getting into any? Are you having fun though? Yeah. Good. Oh, you know, my bobber was down. I didn't even see it. I was thinking, what did I hit? Do I have 2 again? Dude, I've got 2. Hey, look, you guys, I just caught 2 on 2 lures. And they caught some, and I just caught 2 on 1 lure. For 2 on 2 lures. You guys, you know what? We started the trip this way. Why wouldn't we end the trip this way? We're gonna keep that one. We're gonna let that one go. That sounds like a fair trade. Okay, this guy's going home. That was on the NIKKO. Oh, I'm all snarled up. So we did really good on that little, it's a mule head with a NIKKO waxworm. That's micro fishing. And then what's becoming my favorite, the trout magnet with the NIKKO Caddisfly. And you are gonna catch a lot of fish if you use those lures. Hey, thanks for coming along. Remember, a bad day's fishing ain't a bad day. Pretty nice mix. Turtle ended up getting half my bluegill while I was away. That must have been scary for these fish. Oh wow, nice mess of fish to clean.